Grenfell still stands on the site of its tragedy. Wrapped in scaffolding like a silent installation protests quietly, day and night, for the 72 lives lost on that devastating June evening. Recently, the government announced its decision to demolish the tower, citing safety concerns. Yet, for many, this demolition feels like an erasure, another act of institutional forgetting that risks severing the physical and symbolic presence of Grenfell from public consciousness. The fire was not simply a result of negligence, but the outcome of systemic inequality, an effect of gentrification that prioritized aesthetic upgrades over human safety. These dynamics are critically examined in Design Studies 5A, where gentrification is framed as a modern class war, a special process in which design becomes complicit in the displacement of vulnerable communities, all under the polished guise of urban improvement. This project examines the deeper roots of gentrification, which stem not only from failures within the construction industry and housing policy, but more critically from the democratic deficits in the UK's governance structure. The Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Government, now rebranded simply as the Ministry of Housing, has undergone a cosmetic name change without any meaningful structural reform. Research into its working reveals a broken governance framework, particularly the absence of regional government, a vital intermediary between national and local authorities. This missing link was effectively eliminated between 2008 and 2010 with the abolition of regional assemblies, disrupting the decision-making hierarchy and severing lines of communication and accountability. As a result, national housing policy often advances top-down redevelopment agendas aligned with private interests, while local voices are left marginalized and unable to influence decisions that directly affect their communities. This project calls for reinstatement of regional governments to restore the vital link between national ministries and local authorities, by integrating elected regional representatives into ministerial department chambers. Policy decisions would be more responsive to local realities and needs. Central to this proposal is the reform of the Ministry of Housing, including its reorganization into 4 distinct departments, each located across the UK and aligned with the future expansion routes of HS2. The Department of Public Housing, in particular, will be based in London, specifically on the site of Grenfell Tower, following its planned demolition. This symbolic relocation aims to embed memory, accountability and justice into the heart of future housing policy. The master plan envisions Grenfell Square as a unifying circular space encircling public buildings, with a round pathway and irregular river, symbolizing the disruption of life and the ongoing journey of healing, blending physical movement with emotional and societal reflection. The various structures that interrupt the circular pathway do not follow a specific order, but are strategically positioned based on their relationship to public accessibility. The buildings along the perimeter are designed as hubs for public engagement, offering spaces where people can gather, interact, and participate in the activities of the complex. The office buildings, on the other hand, act as a filtering mechanism guiding the public toward the heart of the complex, where the chambers of public housing are located. This architectural arrangement ensures a clear yet flexible progression toward the central, most important space. As visitors move through the complex, they pass through the offices, which serves as a transitional zone between the more open public areas and the more focused decision-making spaces of the chambers. This design approach reinforces the accessibility and transparency of the process, while also maintaining a degree of separation between the public and the formal functions of governance. The circular path of the master plan, moving through the various volumes of the Department of Public Housing, also activates the existing corridors on the ground first and second floors of the Lancaster West Estate. Currently underutilized as storage spaces, these areas can be transformed into back-of-house and sanitary facilities, while 3 arcades will be created across the 3 blocks. These arcades offer spaces for local community, young professionals, and artists to engage in creative activities, fostering a vibrant, collaborative environment. The chambers of the Department of Public Housing, as a central feature, will be strategically located at the heart of the new proposed complex. Its placement underscores its importance while ensuring it serves as the focal point of the development. The department itself will house a chamber where 25 elected representatives from regional governments will convene to discuss and make decisions regarding public housing policy. However, this space is designed not to be an isolated bureaucratic environment, but an open, transparent one. The public will have the ability to freely circulate through the complex, moving around and even over the circular space. This openness fosters transparency, allowing citizens to listen in on conversations, observe discussions, and engage with the democratic process. Periodic exhibitions will also be hosted, showcasing housing policy, urban planning initiatives, and community stories, ensuring that the space serves not just as a seat of government, but as a dynamic hub for public dialogue and civic engagement. The new chambers will be supported by 2 office blocks, one dedicated to housing the regional representatives, and the other to serve as part of the broader ministerial department offices. These office spaces will not only provide the necessary administrative support for the department's operations, but also facilitate a direct connection between the governing bodies and the public, further reinforcing the transparency and accessibility of the decision-making process. At the eastern edge of the complex, an exhibition space is dedicated to public exhibitions and community events. Directly connected to the surrounding green space, it acts as a vital link between Kensington Aldrich Academy and the Kensington Leisure Centre, encouraging interaction and shared use among students, residents, and visitors alike. On the western side, a new public library and archive facing the viaduct and the proposed Latimer Road station anchors the cultural and educational offerings of the site. This strategic placement presents a unique opportunity to regenerate the series of viaducts, transforming them into affordable studio spaces for young professionals and creatives. Through this revitalization, Station Walk is reimagined as a dynamic and thriving corridor, fostering a sense of community, creativity, and local pride. Concrete and frosted glass are materials that both contrast and complement each other. The concrete represents stability, anchoring the structure over the lake, which is part of the river of life, while the glass, through fragile, symbolizes transparency and openness. The frosted glass adds a layer of subtlety, symbolizing the balance between public and private realms, with its translucence reflecting the openness of the public buildings, while the solid concrete signifies the purpose-driven functional nature of the Department of Public Housing. This design represents more than a physical space. It embodies a vision for a more inclusive, transparent, and community-focused future. By reimagining the role of government in the urban landscape, we aim to create a model that fosters civic engagement, empowers local voices, and prioritizes people over profit. The Chambers of Public Housing, with its interconnected spaces and open access, will serve as both a place of decision-making and a beacon of change, actively embodying ideals of equity, collaboration, and social justice. This project is a call to action for a future where design and governance shape cities that are more inclusive, resilient, and committed to serving all communities.